Emilio's wife, what's happening? You were in here first. You were waiting for me. Look, I got a new background. Huh? Professor Shannon. Yeah. I'm tenured. They can't fire me now. Oh, a couple of us in here now. All right. Happy Saturday night. Yeah, they took away my double camera, so I tricked them with a green screen. Actually, the only thing I don't know, let me try something here. So if I flip my camera, then I have to, oh God. Wait, where are my, I gotta be able to turn off my Bluetooth. So wait, interact, subscribe, share, enhance, effects. Okay, I gotta do that. Good Lord. All right, and then I gotta go back here and I gotta flip it. All right, well, flipping my camera is gonna be a bit of a pain in the ass, but this is better than what I had before. All right, looks like there's a few people here. Hey, everybody, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab, as evidenced by the AI Learning Lab underneath all the crap at the top of the screen. Man, TikTok and their interface is just special, isn't it? In here, we like to talk about AI. I'm an entrepreneur for many years, and I've been deep diving into this AI stuff for about a year, looking at it more on the how we use it side than on the creating the technology side. So my background is more as an entrepreneur and using technologies like this. I was an early player in the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies in the mid 90s called agency.com, and the parallels between what was happening in the early days of that and what's happening with generative AI right now are insane. And I think that this generative AI stuff's actually going to be bigger and more profound and happen way faster than that web stuff did. So anyway, that's who I am. If you have questions about anything AI related, pop them in the questions below. If you're new to generative AI, my whole background here, these three URLs you should go try. The top one is the official ChatGPT website. Bing.com is Microsoft's search engine, but if you click the chat button, that's GPT-4 connected to the internet. And then Poe.com, I can show you that later. It's got a bunch of different models you can play with, including some really cool ones from Anthropic, including a 100,000 token model, which is 75,000 words. So that's pretty cool. I was using that today, actually. How do I think quantum computing will affect AI? I don't know enough about quantum computing to know how fast it's coming, but it sounds like they're doubling the number of qubits every year, and they're up to like 500 and something. And like every time they add a qubit, it's an exponentially more powerful system. So they're up to 500. So I would think it's starting to get pretty damn powerful. I would think that's going to help a lot on the training side. That my guess is that's where it's going to be, but I think it can't do anything but allow these AI tools to continue building on themselves and just accelerate the advancement. So yeah. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Same. I started in SaaS in 2003, just sold that. And now I'm starting AI SaaS. Oh, AI ass. That's good. AIS. AI as a service. I like to call ChatGPT mansplaining as a service. MAAS. MS. Because it hallucinates so much. It will confidently answer you even if you're wrong. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. Go to these URLs right here. Then these lower two are prompts.chat will teach you a little bit about prompting. There's a little bit of a primer there on how to prompt. And then there's just a whole series of, act as a sportscaster, act as a screenwriter, act as an accountant, that will sort of put ChatGPT into modes. And it gives you a good sense of the kind of flexibility the tool has. And futurepedia.io, that's just it's a directory of lots and lots of AI tools. If you would, tap the screen a bunch so we can let people know we're here. Share this live. I just went live. Happy Saturday night, everybody. What else? I have a lovely carbonated water here. Blackberry lemonade, if you're wondering, the flavor. Tasty. Thanks for all the love. And what else? Feel free to ask any questions about AI. I'll show what I can. If there's stuff that's worth demoing, I'll answer any questions. I'll pontificate. I'll yell at the doomers who say the robots are going to kill us, because that's not what this channel is about. If you're going to troll me, be creative about it. My favorite so far was "You look like Rosie O'Donnell," which, when you get a troll that's not quite a troll, but it's close, that's a good troll. That's a good troll. If you can't quite figure it out. All right, let's see. Will it let you change the amount of screen you take up when you want to show more green screen? I don't think so. I don't know. I can't pinch it like that when I'm doing normal green screeny stuff. Da 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 ba da ba bum. And encourage more viewers to share. I think I just did that. Bro, what's the AI? Wait. What's the AI that makes apps for you? I don't know, but ChatGPT can code. If you're talking about a specific app that uses ChatGPT to build and compile apps, it's a bit too generic a question. There are a number of no-code app building tools like Bubble and Zapier, but then ChatGPT itself can code for you, but you kind of have to know how to put an app together. And if you don't, it can teach you that. But give me a little more specifics in your question. I'm interested in using AI to help with my Forex trading. So what I would say is, go to ChatGPT, go to either the top one, or Bing might be the one to go to, because Bing is GPT-4 and it's connected to the internet. And tell it your situation. So one of the ways you can use these tools is give it a lot of context. So say, I'm a Forex trader. Either you are experienced or you're not experienced. Tell it what your favorite trading methods are, if you've got any particular bots or any particular stop loss triggers, things like that, and tell it all that stuff, and then start an interaction with it and have it help you start improving how you do what you do. I might be able to make myself smaller in the screen, but I don't know how to right now. Let's see. If I go enhance, effects, hang on, hold. What'd you do Saturday night? Watch some old guy try to figure out TikTok. It was embarrassing. Can I squish myself now? No, I can't. There's no self-squishing. I cannot resize myself. I'm sure I can. I guarantee you there's some 18-year-old on here going, "Come on, you old man." You click on the micro spec in the corner of the icon, and that gives you editing ability for your little size, and then you pinch your little head, you damn old man. Wait, why is an 18-year-old talking like an old man? I don't know, because it's Saturday night and I haven't been drinking. I think I need to get myself a whiskey. All right. Could AI become self-aware? It potentially can. I mean, I think it's. I mean, certainly the current AI tools are not self-aware at all. They're not even aware of what they're saying. When you kind of understand how they work, they're really just kind of word by word prediction engines that do it incredibly fast and in an incredibly sophisticated way. So it seems like they're self-aware. When you start adding things like automation, where they can trigger themselves, where they can write their own code, where they can call services, where they can store memory, and start to analyze what they've said. And all of those things have been released into the wild. So all the tools are there for that. I suppose it could be. The way I think about this is I don't think we've seen the last of the different kinds of AI models that come out for this generative stuff. Right now, most of the technology we're using in this sort of public arena are based on this thing called the transformer model. There could be other models that come out. I mean, Meta's been releasing a ton of stuff recently, and they're open sourcing it all. So, yeah, it's very possible it could become self-aware. I think there's enough awareness now starting to be that I think the companies that are putting this stuff out, and hopefully the developers are being, at least decently careful about it. But you have a bunch of open source large language models, so those have no safety restrictions on them. So very, very possible. And if your question is at that point, then what happens? I don't have a fucking clue. It's probably not good. Could AI elect a president? Could probably predict it. In fact, I mean, listen, here's the thing about AI. Like, because of ChatGPT, there's a lot of people who are just becoming aware of it. AI's been around for decades, machine learning and AI and things like that. ChatGPT is sort of an inflection point where the rest of us get to use these tools, right? All right. Chat app coding. You could use, so Zapier has a new thing called interfaces where you can create chatbots. Here, let's go do that now. This is going to take me a while because I've got a cool, groovy green screen here. Oh, wait, it looks like some new people came in. So I'll go show Zapier in a second. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. These URLs behind me, the top one there is ChatGPT. And if you haven't played with ChatGPT, go there right now and listen to the doggy bark. Nice doggy. That's going to make my doggy bark, so get ready for that. It's coming. No? All right. So go there. This one is Bing.com is Microsoft's search engine. If you click on the chat button, that's ChatGPT-4 for free, connected to the internet. So that's why that's there. And then Poe.com lets you play with 6 different ChatGPT-like models from 3 different companies. And then Prompts.chat will teach you to prompt. And Futurepedia is just a giant list of tools. So that's what those are there for. Someone just asked me about chat app coding and how can you do that really easily. So I haven't done this in a while. So wait. So I'm going to flip my camera, turn off my green screen. Bang. Look at my machine. All right, so let's go look at Zapier. All right, this is my newsletter, Everyday AI. If you want to learn about AI stuff, feel free to subscribe to that. It's everydayai.beehiiv.com. BEEHIIV.com, not how it's actually spelled, because, internet people. All right, so let's go to Zapier. So the way Zapier works, if you don't know Zapier, there's these things called zaps, and a zap is a collection of step-by-step processes that start with a trigger. So the trigger here is I've got a Google form, and then when someone puts information in the Google form, we take that information, put it in a prompt for OpenAI, send that off to OpenAI, do that twice to do some different things to it, then pop all those results into a Gmail and send off a Gmail. So a Zapier, it's called an automation tool, and it's a no code or low code tool. I think it's technically a no code tool. They're quirky as shit, but whatever. Okay, now. Okay, so there's this new thing on the left-hand side called interfaces, which is in beta. Please log in. Okay. And then you can say, create a new one in the upper right, and you have a bunch of different models here. But one of them is a business coach bot or an explain bot. So let's do a business coach bot. And what's cool about interfaces is you're creating a you're creating a Zapier, like this little mini application, but it will give you a web address that you can just send people to this thing. So it's making an application. All right, so there it is. Now if I say edit, on the right-hand side here, this looks a little small. Let's make it a little bigger than that. On the right-hand side here, you have the name. So we're going to call this Business Yoda Bot. Is there a Yoda emoji? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yoda? I doubt it. No. Let's say green. Yeah. Well, all right. A frog sort of looks like Yoda. All right. The greeting is static. So let's see. I'm an AI powered bot that gives you excellent. Wait. I'm going to copy this. We'll go play here for a second. So I'm going to hop over to ChatGPT for a second. And I'm going to go new chat. And I'm going to say, rewrite this. Shift return. I'm going to paste in the little welcome that they had there. And then I'm going to say, as Yoda. Powerful business advice I offer. As an AI-powered bot, I am. Okay, that's good. Perfect. Okay, so we made a stupid intro. We're going to go back over here. We're going to paste that in. So one of the things that I've been, like one of the things you can do with these AI tools is just entertain the shit out of yourself. Ask me a business question. Let's go rewrite that as Yoda. Rewrite this too. A business question you may ask of me. Perfect. So that's good. Now the directive. You are a bad business coach. Okay, so you are a wise business coach. So what I'm doing right now is I'm writing a prompt, right? That only responds with high level advice and only for and only to expand the force. And then I'm just going to kill that. Respond as Yoda from Star Wars, and keep your answers short and sweet. All right, and we're going to use OpenAI's GPT 3.5. That's all we're allowed to. We've got creativity. If you lower that to 0, it's not very creative. If you put it higher, it's more creative. So we'll go 0.9. And then you can do embedding kind of stuff. So that's it. So basically what a bot is you're sort of pre-prompting this thing. So now, if I go in here, I can test it. Oh, wait. I guess what I do is I go share, and then we click on the URL. So now I'm going out to the world, and I've got a Yoda bot. And I'm going to say, how do I close more business? My sales team sucks. Sucks your sales team does not. Train and motivate you must. Let's see. My clients are too demanding and don't pay their bills or bulls. Focus on value, not price. Payment terms set clearly. Contract terms, enforce them you will. So there you go. So go to Zapier, use the interface tool, and within mere moments, you too. Oh wait, I hit the wrong button here. You too can create a bot. How do I flip this around? Oh, here. Wait, hold, please. Old man trying to use technology. Warning. Warning. Oh, good God. All right, it's coming. It's going to be so good when he gets there. All right, I'm back. Yay! This is the AI Learning Lab. Welcome, everybody. If you're new here, these URLs behind my head are the top one's ChatGPT. If you haven't used it, go use it. Go use it now. All right. So what's going on here? I'm an entrepreneur. This is about generative AI, this tool, this live, my channel. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine. Thank you very much. Let's talk. I'm a founder and a CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is an automated video storytelling platform. I've been deep diving into this generative AI stuff for about a year, and I'm using it to kind of completely re-architect my product and my business and my value proposition. And this channel exists to basically just teach what I'm learning. So as I'm learning, I'm sharing as much as I can because I think it's really important. And I think that these generative AI tools are incredibly profound, and they're moving much faster than I think anyone's aware of. And so that's why this exists. I want to demystify things. I want to get rid of the doomers that are just operating out of a place of fear, like, the robots are going to kill us. What are we going to do? Or like, they're stupid, man. I heard they lie sometimes. They do, by the way. But it's no reason not to use them. They are still profoundly powerful. It's one of the most powerful tools ever put in the hands of man or women or children or even dogs. All right. I also have a degree in acting, in case that wasn't painfully obvious. All right. Wait, bro, what's the AI that makes apps for you? Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I was in my questions because, old man with technology. All right. I want the GPT-like app that can remember a set of rules I don't want to reveal. So you can also do that on Poe.com. If you go to Poe.com, in the left-hand side, you'll see a bunch of ChatGPT things that you can play with, and then you'll see bots, explore bots, and there's create a bot. And just like I just did with Zapier, you can create a bot within Poe, and you put in the instructions like I just did, and you can turn off the ability for someone to see your instructions. So you can do that with Poe right now. Now, you can't charge for it. You can't turn it into an app. But if you want to just experiment with getting a bot working, it's a great way to practice. Whiskey is an old man drink, and I'm an old man. Get off my lawn. That just makes me want to go get a whiskey. Whiskey's an old man's drink. Whiskey's a man's drink. Children. All right, I'm closing my window. I don't want people looking in at me because I'm just weird. Outside Chicago girl. Okay, I figured you would have heard of it. What are your thoughts on Bubble versus Anvil? I don't know Anvil. I haven't used Bubble. I've been using Zapier just because it was the first thing I tried and it kind of works. It's the one that's been around the longest, but it's also it's just janky and old and tired. I don't know, but they're doing cool stuff. I mean, Zapier now has large language models sitting on top of it, so you can just describe what you want and it'll create a Zap for you. It's also got a plugin in ChatGPT. Bubble looks slicker. But I've not played with it. But the couple of YouTube videos I watched on it said it was pretty good. So I don't know. Who knows? So here's what I would encourage you to do. Go play with both of them. Go make some apps. I mean, the thing about these large language models, like when you take something like Zapier, and the things that I've been doing are making content generators. So I'll create a Google form that asks people for some input. Like, give me a topic and then answer a few questions about that topic. I then take the inputs from that form, I incorporate them into a ChatGPT post-based or prompt, basically, send that off to OpenAI, and then get back something really cool. So you can make really sophisticated apps with 3 steps. Take an input from a form or a spreadsheet or whatever, Google Doc, send it to OpenAI, and then pop it in an email and email it to someone, or post it to a Slack channel, or post it to a Discord channel. So I'd say just go start playing with them. Why is AI exploding all over the place right now? What happened to make more companies be able to release? Wait, what happened to make... So here's what's going on. Here's why AI is exploding right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in history. In my day, Let's go back to 1994. I was just a young wee whippersnapper. So, in the mid 90s, the internet had been around for decades. And I was living in New York. I was doing desktop publishing. And I started messing around on the World Wide Web. But you had to dial up. And then B, it was all command line. You had to like know command line things. And there were different kind of services you could dial into. But it was very janky. And it was all kind of scientists and researchers and university folks. And then the World Wide Web comes along. And the World Wide Web all of a sudden makes it as easy as if you write this HTML page, you can like click on these blue underlined words and it'll jump you to another page, right? So it connected all these pages without you having to learn all these commands. And that changed everything, right? It took 6 years for the World Wide Web to get from 0 users to 100 million users. So, and you know how transformative that was, right? Like almost everything we do today from a communication standpoint is, can be traced back to the ability to like point and click on things. Like our phones are now just, point and click devices, right? So had this incredibly profound impact on how we do business, how we communicate, how we interact, how we, do social stuff. So similarly with machine learning and artificial intelligence, it's been around for decades. The origins of it are probably 40, 50 years old, and then kind of modern machine learning in the neighborhood of probably 20 years, right? And then in 2017, Google invents this thing called the transformer that allows these tools to get really, really powerful. And that's the transformer is the thing behind like Midjourney, the image generation tools where you see people posting all these images that look really sexy. The image behind here is from Stable Diffusion. That was something I did for an art project. Just a cool, thing. And then it's the transformers are the technology behind the GPT tools, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That's the GPT. Now, why did it take off so quickly? So OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT. They first did GPT-1, then they did GPT-2. They did GPT-3 they launched it in 2020. I think mid to the end of the year, something like that. So, and GPT-3 got a little bit of buzz, right? It was out there, but it was mainly for developers. You went to this sort of geeky back end where you could change settings and choose different models, and it required you to think, right? You had to be kind of a developer. So then Microsoft is about to announce that they're investing $1 billion into OpenAI. This is probably around October. And Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, said, hey, tech team at OpenAI, go make ChatGPT. You have 2 weeks to do it. So they wrote ChatGPT in 2 weeks, launched it. Microsoft made their announcement that they invested $1 billion. And ChatGPT went from 0 to 100 million users in 6 weeks. The World Wide Web took 6 years. ChatGPT took 6 weeks to 100 million users. Fastest adoption of technology in history. Like just boom. What else about it? Well, it looks a lot, if you haven't played with it, it looks a lot like a Google search box. It's just a single text entry box, kind of like Google. But you put in something really simple and you get back remarkable stuff. And so it caught on and people realized, oh my God, this is going to change everything. It's going to change writers and how I write. And it can code and it can solve problems and it can just do all this stuff. So because of that fast adoption, a couple of things happened. Google freaked out because their business model is not based on asking a question and giving you an answer. Their business model is based on you ask a question and they'll give you 40 options. And the more times you click, the more money they make. They don't want just an answer to be given. So when ChatGPT went to 100 million users in 6 weeks, they were like, oh, fuck, what do we do, right? And they invented this technology. So Google's trying to play catch up. Then Meta, the metaverse sort of, fell off a cliff, and Zuckerberg is not talking about that anymore, but they're like, we do AI now. So they're jumping in. AWS, Amazon has jumped in and said, we're jumping in. So lots and lots of companies are now kind of panicking, trying to get in the game because OpenAI and Microsoft are like this juggernaut that even though they've been developing this stuff for 5 or 6 years, they just kind of blew onto the scene in 6 weeks with ChatGPT, and it's changed everything. So that's why. That's a great question. Thank you. I'm a transformer, bro. I'm GPT-5. Woohoo! Party! Wrote half my peer reviews with some semblance of ChatGPT. Just here to gloat. Awesome. Awesome, Ms. Genrad. No, listen, that's great. Here's the deal. Like, there's no shame in it. I don't think. If you've got a tool that can help you block and tackle the chunks of your writing more quickly, like what I've experienced with ChatGPT is it will get me to 80% much more quickly, like instantly. And then it's still on me to do the last 20%. It's very much a collaborative, interactive process. It's not like the robot is writing all my shit. It's like I've got a tool that can get me there a hell of a lot faster, and I can spend more time kind of at a higher creative level. Hey, everybody. It looks like some new folks are here. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. That's what those letters are behind all the interface crap. These 3 URLs, the top one is ChatGPT. If you have not used it, go use it. Go play with it. Just type shit into it. Say, write me a song about and describe your dog or your significant other, and just have it write you a song. If you haven't done it, just like go do a parlor trick like that. And then when you pick your jaw up off the floor, start having it help you solve a problem. Bing is a similar sort of thing. If you go to bing.com and click on the chat button, that's also ChatGPT, but it's GPT-4 and it's free. You have to pay for GPT-4 at OpenAI, which I do because I think it's better. But you don't have to pay for it there. And then Poe, it's got a bunch of things you can play with, including a bot maker where you can make your own bots. And then prompts.chat will teach you to prompt, and futurepedia.io will give you a directory of tools. So go play with all that stuff. And then if you've got questions about AI, pop them down below. And if you lean more toward the troll side of the house and you're like, what are your qualifications, man? I ain't really got none. I have a degree in acting. Although I've started probably 15 companies in my day. I was there for the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies in the mid-90s called agency.com. Was the chief creative officer there. So I guess I have a history of identifying technologies that are going to be interesting and seeing what I can do with them. And I think AI is bigger than the web was by a lot. And I think it's coming a lot faster. How do I use AI to my advantage and make some money on the side? You can make money with ChatGPT. First thing I would suggest is anyone who says that, ignore them. Here's my philosophy on business and on AI and making money with AI. There are going to be lots and lots of opportunities to make money with ChatGPT. But it's got nothing to do with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just a tool, right? So you could absolutely rephrase your question as, how can I use Photoshop to make money? How could I use a shovel to make money? How could I use, this cake batter to make money? How you make money is you solve a problem that a group of people have, and you solve it well enough that they're willing to pay you money for the solution, right? And it doesn't have to be like a dramatic problem. Like it could be, I want to be entertained and I'll buy a silly t-shirt, or I want to be inspired and I buy a piece of art, or I want to come up with a better marketing plan, and you create an agency and help people come up with better marketing plans. So I would say start with the problem and then figure out, based on what you know and what you're good at, how might you solve that problem, and have ChatGPT be like the best assistant you've ever worked with to help you solve that problem and maybe to solve it faster. So what generative AI can do, what ChatGPT can do, and tools like it, is amplify what you're already doing or what you want to do. So I know that was kind of generic, but that's my thoughts on that. It's really good at writing. It can code. The other night on one of these lives, we did a bunch of t-shirts for moms that were exhausted. Someone said, can it make t-shirts for moms that are exhausted? And I just said, hey, ChatGPT, write me a bunch of t-shirts, and just out it came with different target audiences. It was brilliant. So you can do all sorts of stuff. Start with the problem and then have it help you do that. The professor has tech skills. Oh, yeah. Reminds me of IFTT, but with ChatGPT. I'm sure IFTT stands for if this, then that, which is another automation tool like Zapier. I would be very, very surprised if there wasn't an OpenAI tool within IFTT. So this makes an app. Yeah, so what I was showing before, sorry about that, Tarfari. What I was showing was Zapier's interfaces beta, and the interfaces beta lets you make an app. I think you have to pay here's the problem with all of these tools are like $20 a month. Like you can $20 a month yourself, into a mortgage payment. So I don't make any money off Zapier. So in case that's a concern, and I'm just trying to hawk a piece of shit software, it's actually pretty good software. It's just a little janky. But the interfaces beta, when you create a bot, it will give you a URL, and then if you pay the $20, you can change the URL into something custom, like something bot, or you could point your own domain at it. So yes. There's the frogs. A Cardi B bot needs to happen. I did a Jay-Z bot. Here, let me show you. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to flip my camera, and I got to turn off green screen, and this is going to be a bit of a shit show. But I want to show you I'll show you the Jay-Z bot I made. All right, so I flip camera, then I go here, then I go here, then I go here. All right, there's my thing. So let's go to Poe. Okay, so where I'm at right now is I'm at Poe. And Poe is just like ChatGPT. And down the left-hand side here are... GPT-4, Claude Instant, 100,000. That's amazing, actually. And then there's all these bots down here. And I can scroll down and I can go to all your bots. So I'll go to my bots. So I've got a Ricky Bobby bot. I've got a Shakespeare bot, Yoda, Emily Dickinson, Steve Jobs, Jay-Z. So here's a Jay-Z bot. And he says, welcome, my friend, to the Jigga realm. Let's create fire with you at the helm. Hey man, I want help writing. Let's see. Oh, I want help understanding why fast cars are so cool. Da, 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 da. Sending. Still sending? Looks like Poe's not working. Come on, Poe. Oh, here we go. Fast cars narrate dreams fueled on gas, doing donuts and massive lots made of grass. Speed deafens and hearing, sharpens your vision, giving life an illusion, fast forward in precision. So the prompt sitting behind this basically says you're Jay-Z, and everything about Jay-Z and how he rhymes and and when someone asks you a question, you only answer with your sick words. So that's pretty cool. So that's Poe, and you can do that there. So you could go do exactly that with Cardi B. Is there any way to speak to AI and have it reply in a voice? Yeah, there is what was that app called? Ask Someone? Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Ask iOS AI app. Oh, dang it. Ask AI iOS app. It's like Ask Emily or something like that. There's a couple of them out there. It's not super easy to do right now, but you can do it. So let me flip my camera back around and hold, please. Let me turn on my green screen. It's going to be so good. All right, there you go. Looks like we have a bunch of new people there. Hello, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. Happy Saturday night. This channel is about learning AI. If you have questions about it, pop them in the questions below. I'll do my best to answer them. These URLs right here are places for you to go play. Chat.openai.com, that's the official ChatGPT website. They're the ones that started it all. Well, the kind of new started it all. The AI for the rest of us inflection point that started back in November. Bro, use voice chat extension in Chrome. It's easier. Yeah, you can, if you use like there's an official OpenAI app, but it's really hard to find. You can't find it if you go to the iOS App Store because there's like 8,000 scammer apps. So go to openai.com and go to products ChatGPT, and then they'll have a link to their official app. If you go to their official app, they've got whisper transcription built into it, so you can talk to it and it will respond. I don't think it responds in voice though. There are some tools out there that do it, but they're just coming onto the scene. They all have a lot of latency, so they're a little awkward and weird. Basically meaning when you ask it a question that like there's this long awkward pause where you're like, are you ever going to answer? And then it's like, hello. And it talks really weird and stilted. But give it a year and it'll be instant and sound human. And then everything changes. Mercedes just announced that they're putting ChatGPT into their entertainment systems in their cars. By the way, if you're here, if you would, do me a favor, just tap the screen, make the little hearts go. That'll let people know we're here, and pretend that you like this. We'll get a bunch of other people here. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm going back and trying to find out where I was in the questions, and I will answer them now. Thank you. And you can also share this live. I think that helps as well. So if you haven't shared the live and want to do that, that would be cool. Poe is an AI tool. Google it. Yeah, Poe.com is one of the things I just showed. I'm trying to go back here and figure out where I was. I'll just sort of jump in. But what you want is probably a GPT extension. Okay, you're helping each other. I like that. What's Poe? Poe.com. That is just like ChatGPT, and you can actually use ChatGPT there, but it's basically a single interface for multiple large language models that you can play with. So there's Sage, which is Poe's. There's GPT 3.5, GPT-4. There's Claude Instant 100K, which you can put 75,000 words in. And then there's Claude Plus, which is like GPT-4. Some of those require subscriptions. And then there's a whole bot library. Like you can explore thousands of bots that people made, and you can make your own bots. It's pretty cool. Someone described it the other day as like the play school. Like Poe.com is like the play school of these large language models. It is a little simple looking. You know, the original is that top URL there, but that's what Poe is. Hello. Margaritaville 68 was shaking. Gen X, baby. Let's keep it real. All right. I like your channel. Keep doing it. I will. Thank you. I really do appreciate the kind words. That's very nice. This channel exacerbates. Something baits. He's so naughty. He's just naughty. You know what I'm saying? He's just a little naughty. What's he talk about? I don't think he tries to figure out TikTok. It takes him like 3 hours every night. He hasn't gotten it yet. He might be a little touched. All right. Any tips about image generator currently leaning stable diffusion? Yes, lots of tips. I don't know if they're tips. I have lots of opinions on image generation. Okay. I think the best one by far from a quality standpoint is Midjourney. But here's the downsides to Midjourney. You can only create images right now in Discord. You have to do like command line interfaces, like you type /imagine, and then you type in a prompt, and then you have to put in other janky --AR space 16:9, which stands for aspect ratio 16:9, rather than just clicking an icon. So that's the downside, but it's really better than anything else out there. Stable diffusion, because it's built on because Stability AI open sourced the model, the developer community's gone nuts on it. So Stable Diffusion is by far the most flexible, and there's the most development going on for it, and there's all sorts of tools for it. You don't have to quite be a rocket scientist, but you have to be pretty fucking geeky to use Stable Diffusion and just keep up with how quickly it's moving. So it's really good. Like that image, this image was created with Stable Diffusion. Like down here's my sort of chin and mouth and nose. This was part of a project I did called Kyle Shannon Dreams, using a tool called Dream Booth, where I could train it up on photographs of me and generate all sorts of cool images. That was all done in Stable Diffusion. I failed setting that up 9 times in a row before I actually got it to work. And I'm decently geeky, right? I'm not technical, but I'm decently geeky. I can figure shit out. So that's the downside about Stable Diffusion. You can get the quality with checkpoints and weights and some things like that. You can get the quality of Stable Diffusion can get close to Midjourney, but it's just not consistently there out of the box. DALL-E, DALL-E is OpenAI's image generation thing. If you go to bing.com/create, that's DALL-E, and it's free, right? And there's no setup. You just go bing.com/create, and you can go make images right now. I'd go play right now. In my opinion, by far the worst of them from a quality standpoint. Some things you give it does good. Other things it does bad. It only gives you square images. It doesn't do horizontal or vertical images, which is just like, why? Like, you can figure out how to make a different aspect ratio. Everyone else has. But it's free. And then the final one that I think is worth noting right now is Adobe Firefly. So Adobe Firefly is good. Some of their interface elements are really good, like you can just click on buttons and change styles and things like that. The most important thing about Adobe Firefly, and also by extension, Generative Fill within Photoshop, and now they've got Recolor within Illustrator, and they've got a type tool. All of their generative AI stuff right now is built on models that are based on that are trained on public domain images and Adobe stock images that they own all the rights to. So anything that you create with Adobe Firefly is essentially commercial safe, right? You're not, there's kind of no chance that some artist is going to go, hey, you stole my image and you did AI and my image was in that training set. So that's that. And they're also Adobe, and they're moving quite quickly with experimenting with generative AI. They're thinking incredibly intelligently about attribution and compensation for artists. They're doing it in an artist-friendly way, in a commercial-friendly way. So those are the 4. Midjourney the best, Stable Diffusion the most flexible, DALL-E is free and you can call it from APIs, but it's the crappiest. And then Adobe Firefly is good, commercial safe, and probably going to be really good. And if you haven't used Generative Fill in Photoshop, it's just like fucking magic. So yeah. All right. Thanks for showing real screen. You're welcome. I'll do that again if it makes sense. Is Snoozy still the best open source model? I'll be honest with you. I haven't. The open source models are literally they're kind of one-upping each other like every 3 days. Like, honestly, every 3 days there's a whole new open source model that like claims to be better than ChatGPT. You can make money with ChatGPT, and now you can do it for free. So I'm just exhausted. I'm just using ChatGPT. But if you need to run something locally, if you need to experiment with this stuff and you want to push the limits and you don't want the safety guardrails that when ChatGPT says, I'm not going to do that for you because I have safety guardrails, all that open source shit doesn't have that. So what I would encourage you to do is just start hanging out on Reddit in the subreddits for large language models, open source large language models. There's a project called GPT for All, which you can install on your local machine, and then you can put in different models. And some of those models are really small and will run on a laptop. I know there's some installers for M1 Max and things like that. So, but I'm too exhausted. to follow that right now. I'm gonna let the open source community get their shit together, and let's let a leader emerge out of it, because right now it's crazy. It's good, but it's crazy. And quite honestly, if you've got time and if you're super geeky, that's where I'd be spending my time. I'd be spending my time learning LangChain, learning Auto GPT. There's a new one out called GPT Engineer. Is that what it's called? GPT Engineer? Hang on. Yeah, it's called GPT Engineer. That's like something that's trending on GitHub right now. It's like a programming specific GPT where you can just describe apps and it'll go make them. I want to make a SaaS. Cool. I would start for you. Sorry, I can't quite read your name. Farley. Your name is going to make me say something really bad. It just feels like it's hard to read your name without thinking of bad words. So I don't know if you're doing that on purpose, but Farley. Okay. I would just go to ChatGPT. I'd go to GPT-4. So if you don't want to pay for GPT-4 at OpenAI, just go to Bing, go to their chat, and start having it walk you through no-code tools if you're not a coder, how you would create a SaaS application with no-code tools, and just have it guide you through that. Have it walk you through that. I got stuff going on in the throat. There must be a lot of pollen going on. Some of those Chrome extensions are sketch. Yeah, a lot of the Chrome extensions are sketch. The problem with Chrome extensions right now is that they're really easy to make. It's really easy to call OpenAI. So every one of them can make these remarkable claims like, our extension will summarize all your meeting notes. And they're all just basically a single prompt that says, take this text and summarize it, right? And then they turn that into extension. And if they're good at like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, they'll make cool little icons for it. And they can make those things seem like real apps, even though they're fly by night, just tossed together in a couple of hours. So my philosophy right now, I'm sticking very basic. I'm sticking to like ChatGPT. I'll occasionally go to Bing. I go to Poe if I want to dick around with bots, or if I want to use the 100K Claude model where I can do 75,000 word prompts. Is this boomer talk? Fuck you. I'm Gen X. Fuck you. Boomer talk. It's elder talk. Boomer talk can't figure this shit out. Gen X can. All right, and we paid to access the internet by the minute. Remember, yeah, and you had to have your computer call another computer. With a BS in CS, took Intro ML course. You're all acronyms, dude. Schleppens. Should I learn more statistics or take AI specific classes? I would say anything that you do in AI right now is probably a good investment. If you haven't seen, when it comes to statistics, go watch YouTube videos on something that's coming out from OpenAI called Code Interpreter. It's a new mode of ChatGPT that's coming. It's not I don't have access to it yet. Some people do. It is a full-on data analyst. So what happens with Code Interpreter is there's an upload button in your little search box, and you can upload like a full spreadsheet of data. And just start interacting with it and like it was a full data analyst and say, tell me what's interesting about this data. And it will give you a whole report with graphs. And then say, compare this trend to that trend and turn it into a 3D scatter chart. And it will write the Python code and generate the 3D scatter chart. So there are tools coming that are just going to be native within Excel and just Code Interpreter that are going to do that. So what I would say, if you're interested in statistics and you want to learn this shit, I would learn how to do all that stuff with the AI tools, right? So I say this a lot on the live. There's a guy named Paul Raitzer from the Marketing AI Institute, and he says, AI is not going to replace you, but someone using AI will. And so if you have the ability to use machine learning tools to do data analysis or whatever it is, the thing that you're interested in, sort of as in conjunction with what you already know with the AI tools, then I think you'll be in a much better place than if you just say, hey, I'm going to go learn statistics so I can do data analysis. Data analysis is going to be the bulk of the work, and certainly entry-level kind of work is all going to be automated. So that's that. And then the other thing is, so we're at an inflection point right now. So ChatGPT to me represents a diverging path, right? And one of them is, if you want to be in machine learning and computer science and working on large language models and working on things like LangChain and kind of being on the cutting edge of what's happening with machine learning and AI, that's going, that's sort of entering an industry that, is 20 to 30 years old, fairly mature, and probably has decently high requirements in terms of math and programming and all that sort of stuff. The other road is post-ChatGPT is the rest of us get to use these tools, right? ChatGPT is available for the masses. So it's everyone from someone working on their dinner plan for the week to small businesses figuring out faster ways to do what they do, to massive corporations completely changing their work processes, based on these new tools. And when Microsoft rolls Copilot into Office 365, which is basically ChatGPT sitting inside Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google's doing the same thing with Bard. Once these things roll into all of the daily work tools we do, then it's just going to be everywhere. It's going to be pervasive. So those are the two kinds of roads, right? If you want to do machine learning, go down that more specific road. But almost everyone is going to be struggling with, how the fuck do I do my business now? Like, these tools change almost everything in how we do what we do. And so if you've got any sort of skills to help people navigate through that, you'll be in demand. All right. First into HTML. HTML was super early in the early days. I'm a professional software engineer, brother. Cool. All right. Can replace you too. It can. Yeah. And then I might go back to acting. Or music. I'll go back to songwriting. If AI can do all the shitty soul-crushing work, like when you spend 3 hours on the phone with your stupid fucking insurance company trying to get paid for the stupid doctor visit you went to, if AI can be on the phone for me and deal with all that complexity and I just can go do my other shit, I am there for it. Any prompts to get rid of the silly extra sentences in GPT. Oh, the story continues. Yeah. So GPT, ChatGPT has been written to be a little bit flowery, right? So it definitely does that. There's a specific phrase that someone said once. Limit prose. Okay, let's go play. All right, I'm going to flip my camera. It's going to take me a minute to turn all this shit off, but hold on. All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to go new chat. So I'm at ChatGPT. We're just going to use 3.5 because it's fast. But I'm going to do, let's see, please tell me what's the best way to start a SaaS business with AI. If I am not technical. All right. So let's see what it says. Starting a SaaS software as a service business with AI can be an exciting venture, even if you don't possess the technical skills. While not being technically proficient may present some challenges, it doesn't have to, right? So it's this really flowery kind of bullshit language. So I'm gonna copy my exact prompt here. and I'm going to start a new chat. So we're starting completely from scratch. And then I'm just going to go, I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to hit shift return for a new line. And I'm just going to say the phrase limit prose. And let's see if it's any better. Yeah. If you're not technical but want to start SaaS software as a company, here's a concise plan to get you started, right? So it cuts out all the bullshit language. So you can say limit prose. You can also, the other thing that you can do with these tools is, hang on, let me flip my camera back. The other thing that you can do with these tools is you can give them examples. So if you want, if you've got a particular way you write, or if you want it to just give you short bulleted lists, you can say, give me this sort of answer, but then you can say, but follow this example, and paste in an example, but follow this example for formatting and tone. And it's really good at that. So you can also give it examples. That'll help with that. But limit prose is the little hack. I can't believe I remembered that. I saw it once. Replacement is just fear-mongering. Totally agree with that. Been saying tech will replace us for ages, and we're still working. How's Bard? Bard sucks. I know Google invented this shit, but like how you can tell Bard sucks is it sucks on the writing front. From what I've heard, it's good on the programming front. And there are many components to Bard, like they're doing music generating stuff. They just announced a thing called Style Drop, which is remarkable, like image copying technology. So they're doing some stuff that's really cool, but Bard itself compared to GPT-4 is like laughably bad. It's laughably bad. They dropped the ball. They invented the transformer, and then I think they threw it. I think they threw it on the shelf and said, this is going to threaten our core business, so don't pursue that. And then OpenAI went and took it really fucking seriously. And then, oops, ChatGPT, got to 100 million users in 6 weeks and changed everything. Fucked everything up for everyone. Except Microsoft and OpenAI are like, cool. We're kicking ass. We're gonna be we're the new cool kids in town. Can ChatGPT for court cases? So ChatGPT is really good at reading legal briefs. I was just part of, I had some crypto on Voyager and they shit the bed, and now they're in some sort of settlement, and every now and then they'll send out all these big long legal documents. So I take those, paste them into ChatGPT, and I'm like, summarize this for me, and it does. And then I can ask it questions about it. So it does that really well. You have to be very, very careful with legal stuff, because ChatGPT does what's called hallucinating. It will just lie to you. It's a mansplainer. It will confidently answer it even if it's wrong. There was a lawyer 2 weeks ago had ChatGPT write a legal brief for a court case and turned it into the judge. And the judge checked the cases that the lawyer cited in the brief, and they were all fake. The judge said to the lawyer, excuse me, Mr. Dum Dum, what the fuck is this? And the lawyer didn't check his work. So, check your work if you're gonna use it for court cases. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good at analyzing documents. So, yeah. That's the other thing. So one of the other things, the reason I have Poe.com here, in the paid subscription, you get access to a thing called Claude Instant 100K. A lot of times legal briefs are going to be a lot longer than what you can paste into ChatGPT. It'll break. It's got just a 3,000 word limit, basically. The 100,000 word or token model lets you put in a document up to about 75,000 words. So you can put in really long documents in Poe.com. Also at chatgpt.openai, with some of the plugins where you can read PDF files, those can read longer documents as well, but only certain ones. Some do, some don't. So that should help. But be careful with legal stuff. Just make sure you're checking all your sources. You're checking the accuracy. If you're doing legal stuff, you should be doing that anyway. 80% to 20% agree. Yeah, what I was saying before is ChatGPT can very, very quickly get you to 80%, right? You have an idea. You're like, oh, I kind of have an idea for the great American novel. You're like, can you help me write an outline? Here's an outline. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, no, this is bad part of it. Can you fix the bottom part of the outline? Yeah, here it is. Can you write me some characters? Here they are. Okay, those 2 are good. These 4 suck. Okay, here's 4 more, right? And so within 5 or 10 minutes of anything that I've done, I get to some version of, oh shit, I'm ready to go now. Or like, I've got a really good starting point, and then I start writing. It's really, really good for that. Best free AI for videos. I think Runway ML is free. They're kind of the leader right now. So if you get the Runway ML app, you can play there, but there's also the Runway ML Discord server. And then their Gen 1 tool is is video to video. So you upload, I think it's 3 or 4 seconds of video footage, and then you write in a prompt like make this claymation, and it will take the action in that video and make it claymation, or whatever you want it to be. And then Gen 2 is text to video, where you literally just describe a video and it will make you a video. That's the one right now. But there's a bunch of them out there. The reason I have this lower URL, futurepedia.io, is that's just a big directory of tools. So if you would do me a favor right now, just tap the screen, get a bunch of likes going so we can let people know we're here. The numbers are dwindling a bit. And I know it's not because I'm boring. Right? All right. Thank you. Can I see the background again, please? Yes, there you go. Are you saying you don't want to see my big fat face in the screen? Top thing is the official ChatGPT website. That's Microsoft's search engine that has the chat button is GPT-4 connected to the internet. Poe, you can make your own bots and play with 6 different large language models. Prompts.chat will teach you to prompt. It's at least a starting point that I think doesn't suck. And then futurepedia.io is a massive directory of all the tools. Like the problem with these AI tools is like every single tool is like a whole nother rabbit hole. Like you could, like just the question about like what are the free video tools out there? I'm sure there's 30 of them in Futurepedia, and every one of them's a rabbit hole. And then, there's going to be 3 that are good. So the 27, you're going to waste your time. So that's just where we are in the business right now. All right, where has ChatGPT been when I graduated in the mid-2000s? Tell me about it. I was thinking it could quote for a child custody case. It can definitely help you. One of the cool things that ChatGPT can do is you could put in kind of the bare facts about the case, like, this happened and that happened and that happened. Can you please write this up, in a way that, that it represents us well for a child custody case. It may give you some safety guidelines. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but if I were to do something legal, it might look like this. But yeah, it can probably definitely at least help you articulate things in a way that just gets you there a lot faster. Is Bard better than ChatGPT? No, Bard is worse than ChatGPT by a lot. There are things that it does better. I think it does. So Google is much more an engineering heavy company. One of the things that OpenAI did, and you can listen to Sam Altman, who's their CEO. He talks about this a lot. He learned very early on that the transformer model, which Google invented, allowed them to train these machine learning models on massive data sets. And he realized early on that the quality of the data was everything. And this strategy goes all the way back to the record player. Edison had a more technically, a better technical record player. The cylinder was better technically, but the flat platter records, the guy that invented that went and cut all the deals with the big stars of the day. And so they had the better content on the flat thing. And so that's why the flat album, other than the cylindrical albums were a pain in the ass to carry around, but they were technically better. Same with Beta and VHS, right? All the porn went to VHS, and that's why Beta was technically better, but all the porn went there. Yeah. Thank you for the info, bro. You're welcome, bro. Is this boomer talk? You people. Not a boomer. Can I see the background again, please? I think I showed that to you. Talk about AI and disinformation. I'll do it a bit. I can't talk too much about bias because I've gotten booted off these lives twice now. And I think in both cases, I was explaining about the bias thing, so I can't go there. But, okay. I think the 2024 U.S. presidential election is going to make the 2020 and the 2016 elections seem like quaint little walks in the park. In a little field of wildflowers. I think the misinformation and disinformation and deep fakes in 2024 are going to be batshit crazy. I think they're going to be just fucking nuts. So, it's probably going to start in the fall and then go for a full year. And so I think it's going to be really bad. The problem with it is there... So time was 6 months ago. There were only a handful of companies that had these powerful tools that could do stuff like ChatGPT. Stability AI started open sourcing their models a year and a half ago. Sam Altman. The whole intent of OpenAI, why it's called OpenAI, is it was started as a nonprofit and they were supposed to open source all of their AI models. And he got concerned and said, I don't think it's safe to just open source these things. So he didn't. And he turned it for profit and he sort of kept things behind the firewall. And that's why Elon Musk is pissed off and why he started his own competitive X.AI. And then when Meta kind of panicked and said, we've got AI too, one of the things they did was they gave their Llama large language models to the developer community. And they said, you can only use these for research, but the developer community was like, cool, let's fucking take them and put them everywhere. So now you've got this massive open source large language model thing, and the developer community figured out how to take a small, not powerful, like 7 billion parameter model from Meta, and using ChatGPT to essentially generate the data to train it with like $100 in compute power. They're making these small, unpowerful models as powerful as ChatGPT, like 3.5. In fact, there was an engineer at Google. There was a memo that leaked that said, like, Google doesn't think that they can compete against these open source models. But for disinformation, all these open source models, they don't have any safety guardrails on them, right? So bad actors and, political operatives are going to be exploiting the shit out of this stuff. And it's going to be really hard to tell what's real and what's not. And there's going to be massive amounts of it, like massive amounts. Again, I think it's going to make 2016 and 2020 look quaint by comparison. So I think it's coming. Now, is there a silver lining? We're going to have to go through the ugly part, right? We're going to have to go through a couple of years of, realizing that, oh shit, that video wasn't real, or, oh, that video was real, but because of AI, that politician could claim it wasn't real, right? It's just going to be a fucking shit show. And then I think starting in 2025, and maybe sooner, there's going to be an absolute clamoring for how do we authenticate stuff? How do we authenticate people? How do we verify that this video is actually the video, right? How is this live that I'm watching of Kyle, stumbling around the English language? How do I know this is real or not, right? Is there a little green check mark that says this has been blockchain verified as authentic and real and non-modified? Or is this fictitious? Like all that sort of stuff. So my guess is that the disinformation shit show of 2024 is going to drive some good things, and it'll probably drive the adoption of tokenization technology like blockchains or NFTs or whatever the new flavor of the month is on that shit. But I think it's going to be ugly, and we just need to prepare for it and know it. I mean, at least we understand that disinformation is powerful now, and propaganda still works on human beings, right? Like I grew up at a time I heard about propaganda in World War II and things like that, and I thought, oh, but at least we're in the modern age, and we'd never fall for that. Well, guess what? Shit still works. So it's going to get much worse, but maybe we're better educated now. So maybe 2016 and 2020 educated us so we can navigate this a bit better. My ChatGPT just told me its knowledge cutoff was September 2021. That's correct. I didn't know it's that behind. It is. So the base model is, it takes a long time to train it. It's a very manual, time-consuming process. It takes 6 months or a year to generate a new model. So that's when that base model stopped. They're working on GPT-5 now, so that'll probably have some later date. But the base model has to have some sort of cutoff. It can't be done in real time yet. That could be something that quantum computing helps with, but I don't know. I don't know enough about that shit. Okay. If you go to the official ChatGPT website and you pay for the GPT Plus, you get access to GPT-4. You also get access to the beta version of GPT-4 that's connected to the internet. Or you can go to Bing.com and click on their chat button, and that's also connected to the internet. So what happens is when you put in your query, if it's looking for something that's beyond its September 2021 cutoff, it will then query the internet and pull it in. So while it's a limit, because we now have these things connected to the internet, it's not that big a deal. Have you found an AI music generator yet? There's a bunch of them out there, and there's a bunch of new models. I just did a thread on one. Meta just announced, what's it called? Hang on a sec, let me take a look. If you go to, hold please, I'm going to the Twitter. If you go to the Twitter and go to Everyday AI News, I just posted a 10 tweet thread on Meta's new, what's it called? Voice box. Oh no, that's voice synthesis. That's not music. So Meta's got one that's text to music. There's one out there called sounddraw.io. I think it's sounddraw.io. Hang on, let me check. Sounddraw.ai. Sounddraw.ai. SONDRAW. So not two. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's wrong. Wait, hold. God damn it. All these AI sites have Sounddraw. No. .ai is not right. Don't go there. Hold, please. What did you do tonight? I watched some old man try to find a website. It was pretty painful. Sounddraw. Let me just go there. Sounddraw.io. Now, Sounddraw.io is sort of an AI music generator. They're using AI, but it's kind of like a loop, a mixing loop thing, kind of like GarageBand, but it's got an AI front end on it. So that's pretty good if you just want to knock out like 3-minute songs in all sorts of different genres and do like 20 of them at a shot. That one's pretty good. If you want to do actual generated music, then what I would do is I would go to futurepedia.io because, again, the reason I'm putting this here, I can't keep up with the individual tools anymore. So just go here, go to the music section, and just start digging in. There's cool ones. There's one called Refusion, RIFFUSION, Refusion, that what they did was fascinating. So with music, there's the, what's it called? The visual, Oh shit, I forget what it's called. The God damn it, fucking old brains. The picture of the music, the sound waves, right? You know, the sound waves, the visualization of the music. They basically are taking Stable Diffusion. You type in a type of music, and rather than it generating music through some music algorithm, it generates a visual sound wave and then interprets that into music. That one's wild. Refusion is that one. So that one's pretty cool. In fact, maybe I'll go show you that one because it's just cool. We should do cool stuff here, shouldn't we? Let's do cool stuff, man. He was old, but he's pretty cool. All right, let's go. Refusion. This is probably down now. Oops. Refusion. Refusion. Refusion.com, I think. Is this it? Nope. Not .com. Don't go there. God damn it. Refusion. Am I remembering this wrong? That's possible too. Music. Here.
Hey everybody, this is Barry from Energy.
Yeah. Where's the link? I don't want to watch your video of it. I want to make my own thing of it. Where is that? Audio spectrogram. Oh, is this it? Sorry, hold please. Here we go. Okay. Good Lord. That was a mess. Okay, so down the left-hand side here, you have this visual thing. If I hit the play button, someone typed in funk bass line with jazzy saxophone. So I can type in like Americana, funk, sad, ballad. And then it will generate the sound waves. So there's sort of some guitars in there and some sad people singing. So anyway, that's Refusion. But yeah, I would just go to futurepedia.io and look up all that shit. Look up all the music tools because there's probably 40 or 50 or 100 of them now. It's nuts right now. All right. Talk about AI and disinformation. We already did that. If I have GPT subscription, can I use it in Poe or do I pay an additional subscription fee? Great question, Mark. You pay an additional subscription fee. Why? Because everyone wants $20 a month for their stupid fucking tool that's going to be obsolete in 3 months. I would not on anything don't do the annual fee for anything right now. Go month to month. Even though the annual saves you, just like shit's moving too fast. I try to limit. I pay for Poe. I pay for ChatGPT. So two of those three. I pay for Google Colab if I want to do Stable Diffusion stuff. I pay for Zapier to do automations. I pay for Midjourney because their images fucking rule. And then I've got, for work, I've got an Adobe subscription, so I get access to the Adobe stuff there. And there might be like 2 or 3 other things, but I just stopped doing a lot of the subscriptions. But those two I think are worth it, Poe and ChatGPT. ChatGPT because the quality's just better, Poe because you have access to other stuff. And for whatever reason, Anthropic You can get access to Anthropic's models through Poe, but not through Anthropic, which I don't like. Anthropic doesn't have their own version of ChatGPT, which I don't understand because they're a direct competitor and they're ex-OpenAI employees. They could probably do it in a couple of weeks if they wanted to. What about Biggie? I don't know about Biggie. Biggie Smalls? Oh, because I was doing Jay-Z probably. All right, I'm way behind on the questions here. Do I program AI? Not really. I make some content generators using Zapier where I do calls to OpenAI, and I'm about to start a project with our developer to do. So we rolled in my company. We rolled OpenAI's Whisper into the. It's a video platform to do transcriptions, so that's in there. We're gonna take all of our transcriptions across all the videos in our system and be able to search across them. We're going to embed them and vectorize them or some sort of thing like that. So yeah, I guess I do. All right, TikTok just jumped me to the bottom, so I'm just going to go to some random place up above that, and I probably just skipped a ton of questions, but I'm really behind. So is he reading this chat or what? Yes, Mike, I'm reading this chat, but I'm behind. I just said that. Oh, thanks, Kavruno. Thanks. The regulars here have my back. They know how this works. He's an old man. He goes slow. All right, patience, young grasshopper. Exactly. Are you available to consult on an AI solution? I'm happy to chat. I've got my contact information is in my profile, and then I'm at Kyle Shannon on Twitter. You can DM me there, or Kyle@storymind.com. I am fully doxxed. I was in the blockchain and NFT world for a while, and all of those people are like, "You can't dox yourself." I'm like, I've been doxxed for like 30 years. I think the cat's out of the bag at this point. My company's called Storyvine. You can also find me there. My time is limited, and I need someone who can fill an AI knowledge gap. How would you suggest I find you? The way I just told you, and yeah, hopefully I can help. Everyone's time is limited, is changing so fast. Yeah, that's the thing. Listen, I'm happy to talk. I'll tell you what I know. Like, I've been geeking out on this shit for a year, and since ChatGPT, I've been, like, up to here. But a very good point is made there that this stuff is moving so fast that, anything that I tell you, for the next month, a month from now will be obsolete, because it's just absolutely insane. We're 69 here. Ease, tick the screen to support. Wait, we are what? Huh? We are 69 here. Please tick the screen to. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. So we're 59 now. So double tap the screen to just say that you like this, and then maybe TikTok will show us to some more people. Because it's Saturday night, and why would you want to be anywhere but with me rambling on about AI? I mean, isn't that your idea of a good time? What'd you do Saturday night? I don't want to talk about it. I've got a lot of shame. You're total Gen X. I am. Fuck the boomers. All right. The boomers fucked up our lives. All right. What are the top 3 things to learn for marketers? Holy shit. World's about to change. I'd say 1, generative AI is coming. 2, generative AI is here. 3, generative AI is going to fuck shit up. That's what marketers need to know. It depends which flavor of marketing you're talking about. I think SEO transforms fundamentally, which is why Google's so freaked out. I think that to get a bit more serious, like I don't. If you give me a bit more context, like, are you with an agency? Are you with a brand wanting to do marketing? I think if you're with an agency, you need to very, very quickly reassess how you do what you do, because I think clients are going to start demanding faster turnarounds. I don't think the days of time and materials billing are long for this world. I think clients are going to start demanding flat project fees, flat project pricing. I think they're going to expect faster turnaround, higher quality. Like all the pulling the wool over the eyes of clients, like that, I feel like that shit's going to go away. and it's going to be forced. If you're a marketer, I would look at almost all of marketing operations and look at what ChatGPT can automate and what it can't, but like really push hard, like figure out all of the specific areas of marketing, because it can write you all the copy you want, right? And it can iterate it. And then you can go into like bulk create within Canva and generate all the content. So I don't know. So it's a broad question. I don't quite know where you are. Like the top three things right now are just get curious, get curious, get curious. Start exploring, start experimenting. Disrupt yourself before you get disrupted is what I would say on the marketing front. Like figure out what this shit's good at with marketing and figure out new ways to do it, because if you don't, someone else will. I'm looking to train it to identify high confidence patterns within a bunch of transactions. Oh God, Jim, this is so okay, Jim. So here's free tip of the night. This is worth everything I'm charging for it. Just go to YouTube and search for code interpreter ChatGPT and just go watch, I don't know, 3 videos, probably 1 or 2. Look what code interpreter can do. If you're looking to identify high confidence patterns within a bunch of transactions, like you could probably just do that with ChatGPT, but code interpreter that's coming, you're going to be able to do that incredibly powerfully, I think. I don't have access to it yet, so I can't actually tell you. If anyone from OpenAI is on here, please give me access to code interpreter. I deserve it. I'm on a TikTok. All right. We don't regulate till disasters happen, unfortunately. Exactly. I assume that was in reference to all the misinformation shit that's coming. Being in the twilight of our existence. That's an inside joke. The other day I had ChatGPT write me something about being 58, like the opening paragraph to a great American novel, and it said, in the twilight of his existence. I'm like, fuck you, ChatGPT. We just don't have that kind of time or resources. Okay, that's boomer, but you're still Gen X. I don't know what I said that was boomer. I'm older. I'm older too. Been professionally developing software for 30 years. Frozie O'Donnell. Is it good for grant writing? Great for grant writing. Pop in a grant request and just, like what one thing that you could do is you could pop in so with GPT-4 now connected to the internet and with plugins, you could take a description of what your company does, give it a URL for the description of your organization, and then get the URL for the proposal request or whatever it is from the foundation. Pop those into ChatGPT and say go read this request for proposal, and then using the description of our foundation here, write me a grant proposal, or even break it up into little chunks. Do section 1, do section 2, do section 3. Brilliant for that. It's also going to be brilliant for grant proposal reading. I was talking to someone that does foundation work, and I was telling her about ChatGPT and what it did. She goes, well, it sounds like this would be really good for the grant writers to write their grants more quickly. And I'm like, yeah, it would. And she goes, and then wouldn't it also be good for people reading grants to be able to process them more quickly? I'm like, yeah, it would. And I said, what's left? Talking to the people. Like one of the promises of this AI technology is it returns us to human connection and empathy and let the machine do all the shitty paperwork, let it sort of float the best proposals to the top, and then reach out to the people and talk to them, meet them, see if you think they're going to spend your money well. And like that to me seems really exciting. So yeah, I think it's going to be have profound impacts on grant writing. Everyday AI News on Twitter. If you go to, it's at Everyday AI News is our Twitter account, and then you there's links there to subscribe to the newsletter. But there's also a bunch of threads in there. I have to run. Y'all take care. Thanks for sharing. You got it, Jim? All right. Make money on ChatGPT by coming up with solution for digital waste carbon footprint reduction from Gen AI. I think that will be a big, I think it will help us solve some major shit like that. And yeah, people that do that, they're gonna make money. You make money with ChatGPT. I solved climate change with ChatGPT. I made millions, billions, trillions. This is incredible 411. Cool. Talk about recommendations for a high school student that wants to study programming in college. Skip it. Use AI. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you should skip it. There's value to college beyond what you'll learn, but I would strongly encourage you to ask the program people at your college, where are they with AI? If they're like, it's okay, we've got plagiarism detectors in place and no one's allowed to use it, run for the fucking hills. Like, run as fast as you can from that place. If they're like, we're taking AI really seriously because we know this is going to be an important part of the world moving forward, and we don't quite have it figured out yet, but we're doing our damn best to make sure that you're prepared when you leave here, then consider going there. So that's number one. Like, don't go to a place that thinks AI is evil and we're going to stop it, right? Because they're not, and it's going to be everywhere. Then what I would say is dive in, like, fast and deep. Like, start using GitHub Copilot, right? Which is a pair programming tool that's GPT enabled. Start having ChatGPT write programs for you. Figure out what it does well. Figure out what it doesn't do well. Like anywhere where you feel weak in programming, have ChatGPT get you up to speed. Like, by the time you hit college, be proficient at programming with ChatGPT or Copilot or some of these tools. I would really start geeking out on, GitHub and Hugging Face and the developer community. So go to Reddit, go to the subreddits for Stable Diffusion, for LangChain, for AutoGPT, for Baby AGI. There's just a bunch of projects. There's one right now. Oh, you should definitely go check out this project. It's trending on GitHub called GPT Engineering. That is a specific, like, ChatGPT for programming. I would just start geeking out. Like, don't think that college is going to teach you what you need to know for this new AI world. They can't possibly, because no one knows what it's going to be. So I would get as proficient as you can with AI-assisted programming and then go to school. And then chances are good you'll be smarter than your professors or other students that haven't so aggressively done it. So I strongly recommend it. And then, because, quite frankly, if you jump into some of those projects and you start contributing to them, by the time you're 2 years into college, you'll probably have job offers. Like, there's going to be a tremendous amount of demand for developers that have their shit together with this AI stuff. So even if you're not an advanced or competent developer, you can be really quickly. Like, my first epiphany with ChatGPT was in 90 minutes, I wrote a sophisticated Python application that generated social media content from some inputs in 90 minutes. I've never written a line of Python in my life. I still haven't. So go do that. Like, where are we? We're in June. You got the summer. Like, by the time the end of August rolls around, you should be, like, involved in a project and be using GitHub Copilot and you should just fucking geek out. Spend the summer geeking out. It will pay dividends. And just check with your college if they are actively blocking ChatGPT. Run fast. Really good question, though. Thoughts on the intermediate future of research librarians with this AI? I think. I mean, like the internet had profound impact on librarians, I think generative AI is going to have more profound impact on librarians, but it doesn't mean we don't need librarians. I think librarians that get competent at doing AI assisted research are going to be way more valuable than those that can't, right? And so and will be in demand. So I think the role of librarians is incredibly important. What these tools do is, if you look at how ChatGPT or GPT 3 and 4, how the base models were trained, they were essentially trained on all of the public internet. So like all of Wikipedia, all of the blogs, all of the websites, all of the libraries, right? All of the data everywhere is kind of what's sitting inside that model. And then you can just start interacting with it. So it's like you can instantly sort of bring up research like that. Now, the challenge with research is it hallucinates and it will make up citations that are just bullshit. But there are now plugins for ChatGPT. So another reason to pay for the official ChatGPT, chat.openai.com, is you get access to plugins. There are now plugins that do citations. And over the coming probably 2 years, these tools are going to get much better at validating citations, right? So I would say just start digging into it. Start taking what you already do and know how to do and figure out how to AI amplify that. They are incredibly, like, scarily capable research assistants. Fast. Oh, yeah, like tell it, go to ChatGPT, go here, and say, make me a table comparing two concepts. You come up with the concept, something that you're researching, and it will make you a table like that. And just, start to imagine the kinds of things you could do from a research perspective that way. You need to check all your work because of the bullshit, but with plugins, that could potentially aid in that. No shame in our game. Oh, shame is my love language. All right. Do you think things like search engines might disappear? I don't think they disappear, but I think they change dramatically. Like even Google now has said, well, we're going to have this new super search or whatever the fuck they called it, that it kind of gives you a ChatGPT answer and then it does the Google search below it. Who's going to go click on that shit if the answer's here? No one, right? The days when Google had 92 or 94% market share of search and everyone had to do search and SEO and site building exactly the same way because that's what Google did, that all kind of blows up. I don't know what it gets replaced with. So I think search changes, like, it's changed dramatically for me. I've got Bing as my default search engine, which if you had asked me a year ago, if ever in my life I would have Bing as my default search engine and Microsoft Edge as my default browser. I'm like an Apple fanboy. Like, my first Mac was a 512 KE in 1987. Like, I've been a Mac guy, an Apple guy forever. Like, I've hated Microsoft forever. The last 6 months, I'm like, woo! They've been like a startup again, and like they're kicking ass and they're gloating in it. So, yeah, I think everything changes. I will do a search with ChatGPT, knowing that it's going to take me, like, for it to respond with an answer is going to take me like 30 seconds. And I knew if I went to Google, it would take me like 2 seconds. I still do it in ChatGPT because I don't want to see all the bullshit. And I don't want to have Google like just give me shit that is just irrelevant to me. I'm like, I'll take the time. Like, I'll take 30 seconds for ChatGPT to figure it out and go search the web for me and come back and just give me a fucking answer without an ad in it. So yeah, I think search changes pretty dramatically. I missed it. Did he confirm the one? I don't know what I was confirming. I've been doing this for 90 minutes, by the way. Jim left. Interesting. Okay. Thoughts on AI and therapy? I think that virtual companionship is going to be huge. I think that, and not just in a creepy way. Like, I know you sort of go to the creepy place with that. If you haven't seen, there's a movie called Lars and the Real Girl, which is sort of about virtual companionship that you think is going to be the creepiest fucking movie you've ever seen. And then it's the sweetest, like, most human thing you've ever seen. It's amazing. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. I think that GPT tools are going to support caregivers, healthcare professionals in being more empathetic. It's actually really good at acting empathetic. It doesn't have empathy. It doesn't know what it's doing, but it interacts with nuance and with empathetic cues, basically. There was a test a few weeks back that some patients interacted with GPT doctors and real doctors. They didn't know which were which, via text. And the patients overwhelmingly preferred the GPT doctors because they were more competent and more empathetic. So I think you're going to see that. And then I think that when they get some of the safety stuff dialed in, because with therapy, you can very quickly run off the rails. But if you're kind of doing low-level stuff or just doing check-in stuff with yourself, when they get the safety stuff dialed in, I think it's going to be an incredible boon for therapy. I really do. Do not take it out a loan and go into massive debt for college. I agree with that. The cons outweigh the benefits. Yeah, I wouldn't go into debt. Like if you have a trust fund and your parents are paying for it, just go. But don't go to one that's fighting this AI shit. And then if you're going to go into deep debt, I would say spend the summer geeking out on AI-assisted programming and get involved in some projects. You'll probably have a job before the summer's out. Don't tell your mom I said that. Or do, I don't give a fuck. Bing Chat is a stingy version of ChatGPT, always scolding me and saying I'm asking too much. Yeah, so Bing, if you don't know the story behind Bing, when Bing launched, so the ChatGPT at Bing is GPT-4, but when they launched it, it wasn't stingy. It was very generous. And this guy, this reporter named Kevin Roose from the New York Times started interacting with ChatGPT, and he spent 4 hours with it. And he got it to fucking snap. He asked it its name. It told him its name was Sydney. And Sydney said she fell in love with Kevin Roose and that he should leave his wife. And he took a screenshot of that. And it made the cover of the New York Times. So Microsoft lobotomized Sydney. So they're slowly unlobotomizing her, but she's not as good. That's why I have both of these up here. Because Bing will be good at some point, but right now it's a little limited. But the GPT-4 at the official site is much better. I agree with that. You enter talking about doctors. We are talking about doctors. Jinx. Sorry, I meant the 120,000 dimensional thinking and 300 years of learning with ChatGPT. Good job, doctors. Ooh, I love that. Okay, I got to the bottom. I'll see if you've got other questions, pop them down below. Looks like things are winding up here. I've been doing this for 2 hours. If we get some more people popping in, feel free to tap the screen. We'll see if we can get some more people to pop in. I'm happy to do it. If you've got other questions, just pop them down below because the TikTok jumped me to the bottom, so I missed a bunch of questions up above. And then if not, I'll just go. I'll finish my water, go watch some TV. What time is it? 9:30 here. I'm in Denver. Denver, Colorado. Let me go find another random question here. You're total Gen X. Is it try chat AI thinks, I don't know what that means. AI tools for taking my Google Sheets backbone and products into super automation beyond... AI tools for taking my Google Sheets backbone and products into super automation beyond Zaps. I don't quite know what that means, but you might need a developer at that point. The automation tools can get pretty sophisticated. The other thing that I would say is play around with the Zapier plugin in ChatGPT, because you can describe what you want and it will create zaps for you automatically. What if we start asking questions to each other in the way we talk to ChatGPT? I think we probably will. Although We didn't start talking to each other like Google prompts with search. But you know, I find myself with ChatGPT asking, like, saying please and thank you a lot. Like, the fact that it does respond with kind of, you know, nice human language and polite, like I thank it when it does a good job, and I say, oh, that wasn't quite right. Can you try this? Like, I talk to it like a human, so it does kind of remind me to be a bit more human, oddly enough. Any thoughts on higher ed and AI, such as why go to college at all with AI? I honestly don't know that. You know, again, there's reasons to go to college, like social things and you know, separating from the parents and things like that I think are important. But if the role of college is to present you with information so that you can learn it, is that really necessary in a world where rather than having to learn how to program Python, I maybe just learn the broad concepts of programming and then I let the tool do the actual coding? Do I need to actually go there to learn programming? I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer to that. I think the answer is no. The thing that I think that is going to be a massive requirement and a massive advantage moving forward is critical thinking. So if what universities figure out how to do is say, okay, these AI tools are going to automate all the tactical bullshit that is essentially what we've trained for, right? Like we train people to be good at all the low-level work, to go into entry-level positions where they're going to do sort of data entry work and lower-level tactical execution work. And then they're going to work their way up to be able to do critical thinking and strategy and all that sort of shit, right? So if the AI is going to automate that lower-level work, what we need are people who can do critical thinking. So if universities can make a pivot and say, okay, let's bring these AI tools into the classroom, and then let's have the AI write the paper for everyone in the classroom, and let's use our critical thinking skills to critique it. What did it get right? What did it get wrong? Where did it hallucinate? How could it be better? What can we do with the prompts to dramatically change the output, right? So I feel like there's a model where the engagement with students shifts and the imperative is to increase critical thinking and the ability to curate what the machines are generating in increasingly powerful ways. That's not what they do right now. So I think there's a model forward, but I just don't, like, that's not their role right now. So I don't know. There are some universities trying to figure this shit out. There's others that are just they're still like, AI's evil and, you know, we'll never use it. Students must write papers. Why? You have a tool that writes papers. You have a tool that's the most capable writer in all of the history of mankind. You know, what's the purpose? Well, I mean, maybe the purpose is to be able to look at what these machines produce and know if it's good or not, right? That's a reason to learn to write. And maybe you just enjoy writing. That's a reason to write. But if the purpose is to learn to write, to go write for a job, that job's not going to be there. So, I don't know. I do not know. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? All this stuff is just crazy. So crazy. Predictive maintenance for electrical infrastructure using AI. Yes. Isn't that weren't you in here the other night? I think that's your job, right? You're a predictive maintenance electrical infrastructure manager or something like that? Or do I not remember that right? Optimize maintenance schedules, reduce downtime, improve reliability of the grid. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's one of the things that I think is the thing that I'm probably the most excited about with all this generative AI is that you take every single complex system. Like, I know nothing about what you just talked about other than like improve reliability, reduce downtime, reliability of the grid. All I know is that that's an incredibly complex system. The thing that excites me the most about generative AI is you can put this very thin layer of technology, the large language model, on top of these incredibly complex systems and just start interacting with it and tell it what you want. Go fix this, go find inefficiencies, make them more efficient, right? And we're going to get to the point very quickly where when you say, go make them more efficient, if there's a plugin or an API that it can use to do that, it'll just go do that. And even if there isn't one, it'll write its own code to go do that, right? So what you're talking about there, absolutely. How you actually do it, I have no fucking idea. But I think it's going to be simplifying complex systems is going to be a massive shift in our economy and how we work and the definition of work. Thoughts about AI legal trademark and their design, output, brand names, etc. It's a big gray, meaning not black and white. It's not clear. Mess right now. Things like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, probably DALL-E. Their models have been trained on copywritten work as well as non-copywritten work. But determining exactly what percentage of which piece of work is in an output is nearly impossible. There may be systems that we can build to do that, but they're not there right now. And there's not really a way to suss it out that I know of. It might be possible, but it's just, that wasn't a priority. Like attribution wasn't a priority when they were like, hey, shit, we can just go train it on all of the images everywhere and it'll make really cool shit, right? Like that was, if you hear the CEO of Midjourney, that's kind of his attitude. It's like, Adobe has trained their models on public domain and Adobe stock images that they own the rights to. So Adobe is not hitting these minefields right now. There's a whole other thing about, can you actually trademark and copyright things that were generated by AI? Right now, the answer is sort of no, but like, I think that's going to be short-lived. But this whole issue is, my only thoughts on it are, I don't know anything about it other than it's a big issue. It needs to be solved. And I'm guessing 20 to 30 years of lawsuits and counter lawsuits. The lawyers are going to get rich. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Like Adobe is going to build, they're going to give artists the ability to opt out of being trained. They're going to give them the ability to opt into being trained. And then they're going to figure out attribution models and they're going to figure out compensation models. So just like streaming, a whole economy emerged around music streaming. There's going to be similar sort of shit with this. But right now, it's a total train wreck. If you're in a big organization, or if you want to not deal with any of these issues, use Adobe Firefly and the Adobe products just because of how they were trained. Midjourney and Stable Diffusion are both really problematic. They're not problematic. You can absolutely pull up stuff using an artist's name that will look exactly like that artist. And if you use that in the prompt, you might get in trouble at some point in the future. So, I don't know. It's crazy times. So it's not grading the written form of the paper, but defend the thesis. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm thinking. Is like because the grading of the written form of the paper, that's going to be automated too. So like the students are going to automate the writing of the paper. The professors are going to automate the grading of the papers. And what the fuck's the point? Who cares? But if we say, hey, these tools produce shit, let's learn how they produce them. Let's learn what they're good at. Let's critique the process. Let's engage in the process. Let's figure out where we might use these tools and where we wouldn't use these tools. That feels like a really quality educational interaction to me. But that's not how universities are designed right now. Wait. What universities do you see at the forefront of implementing AI for their programs? There was in January, I think it was, there was a New York Times article that talked about universities taking this shit seriously. So I would find the New York Times article. It might have been January or February, where they're talking about AI is going to transform higher ed. It's a New York Times article. The people that were interviewed in that article have their shit together, most of them. Like it wasn't a bunch of fearmongers in that article. And then there's an NVIDIA podcast the NVIDIA AI podcast, they interviewed the provost of the University of Florida, and NVIDIA gave the University of Florida, they built them an AI supercomputer, and the University of Florida has rolled AI across their entire curriculum. They didn't just leave it in the computer science ghetto, right? Like, which, you know, when you think AI and machine learning, you're like, oh, that's the computer scientist. And what the University of Florida did was they recognized this stuff's going to be in every profession. So they rolled it into every curriculum across the organization or the university. So I'd look into I'd go listen to that NVIDIA podcast because it was actually really fascinating. But they seem to have their shit together. So and then that New York Times article is probably a good place to start. And then I would just, you know, start asking provosts and the head of schools at university, like, what's their strategy? Do they have a university-wide strategy on AI? And if they're like, no, we're letting each school figure it out on their own, that's probably bad. And if they're like, you know, AI's evil, you know, we're going to protect the way we've always done things, that's really bad. So... all right, everybody. It's getting late here in Denver, Colorado. Getting a little moist and sweaty, and we don't want that. We don't want me shining up. I got to go put on powder. It's not good for anyone. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope you have a great Saturday night. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you some other time. Probably tomorrow. Peace, everybody.